Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I wanted to share with you guys today about a little project I have came up with a few years ago actually, and I've been trying to get it finished because it's been about 5 years now. I started this gratitude journal during COVID when a leader from my church, during such a hard time with COVID and everything, he urged us for at least a week to think of things that we were grateful for and post them on social media. And so when I started doing that, it became kind of like a journal where I was just not posting just like, oh, this is what I'm grateful for. But I started actually like really expressing why I was grateful for it. And when I started doing those on social media like that, I'm like, I bet I could do this in a journal and I could do like this whole little fun scrapbook type thing. And so it started turning into this whole project that you see right here. And so I only have a couple pages finished right now just because I got really busy with other projects at that time and never really got back around to it. But I wrote down what I had posted on social media, and then I even kept doing, like, I have on here, and I wrote down like all up, I think it was almost to like Valentine's Day that I was writing down all the different things. I just haven't done the spreads for each page. So I thought I'd show with you guys what I've come up with so far and just the idea of doing a gratitude journal. And you can do this any time of year. You can do only like a couple pages for different things. I'm going to be doing all the different things I wrote down. It's just slow going because it's very time consuming to do fun little scrapbook stuff like this. But I want to show that you can take a very simple spiral notebook or a composition notebook and turn it into just like a little scrapbook. So that's what I've kind of done here. I just have a very basic, it's a very thick notebook because I knew when I was getting into this project I needed a big one because I wasn't going to be only doing a few grateful things. I knew I was going to be writing quite a few things I was grateful for. So I have just some scrapbook paper that I found that had more of this leather look. And I just did some ribbon and some very simple buttons that were from Dollar Tree with really good super glue. And then for this part, I used some stamps to spell that all out. And to get this kind of rough look, I just took a piece of paper. And I can show this if you guys are curious to get this technique. But I just took a stamp pad and kind of roughed it like that. So if you guys are curious about a tutorial on that, I could totally do that. So I'm going to have parts of this journal kind of covered just because it is personal and I don't want to reveal certain things, but you guys will get the gist of what's going on each page because I'm going to show that part. So bear with me with some of the stuff being covered. So this first part here was I had to put my husband as number one, and I have the dates of when I did everything. So I'm really glad I was good about putting dates with all of the things because I would have no idea. So I did put down my husband and, I had some stamps and, I ripped up some pieces of paper and drew in some little hearts. I did some layering techniques so you can tell it's a notebook. This was a long, long time ago, so I really didn't have a ton of things to work with. When it came to scrapbooking, I just had some stamps and markers and lots of little papers, so I would just kind of make them look a little different. I mean, I had maybe a hole punch to do that, but I mean, I kind of didn't have a whole lot to work with, as you can see, which that may be the case, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can really go crazy with just taking very simple pieces of paper, but adding things to it, and it may look like you used a stamp if you're really good at drawing. Or, you could trace it and use stencils, things like that. So, we'll see what the next page is here. Alright, so this next little spread I did my dog Tilly. And I had these stamps that kind of looked like just little splotches, so I thought they kind of looked like paw prints. And then I even drew in on, I had a book a long time ago that I had used for crafts, and so I have a lot of pages left over from it. And so I just kind of use it to get that look on all my little pages here. You can use little buttons for the centers. I had these little paper flowers. And I have a bunch of these little like tags that were just kind of in a box of a bunch of scrapbooking stuff. And then this I did just a bunch of strips of paper to make it look like it was one page. So you really can go crazy. If you have just enough paper, you can really kind of make it look like it's supposed. I could have done it all the way across the page if I wanted to. I'm planning on putting pictures in some of these. I just never got around to picking out photos and getting them printed. So I do plan with some of these, if I have a little spaces, there was going to be pictures. So I was going to plan on putting a picture of my dog there. And my husband, and the other one, or me and my husband. I can't remember what I was going to do. This one I did books. And, you know, like I said, I was using the pages from the book. And I had some stamps. I made a book here where I just kind of glued, I think, just down the center. It doesn't open very well because it's been pressed. But I think I just glued down the center. And then it's pretty free with the pages. There's some ribbon here, you know. Very simple stuff. I used my stencils a lot. And this one, I did talents. So I got kind of fun with this one where I kind of made the little tag. And it would dangle. And like I said, I had a bunch of these little scrapbooking things. And then I had some like glitter glue here, so I kind of just drew that in between these pieces of paper. And I think this was all one piece of scrapbook paper, and I just cut them to get that effect. So like I said, you really can go far with paper. Even though it seems so simple, you can really play around with it and have a lot of fun, and you wouldn't even know that's how it was. And then growing food. So this is when I got into gardening. So I kind of just did a whole little spread. And the fun thing about these things here is I actually cut these out. And this one was just, it was got like that foam glue on the back. But these were from cards. So I collect a lot of cards. Like here I have is just the front of some cards. So like this one just says thanks. But it has all these fun little, you know, things I could cut out, or I can use the letters, you know, happy birthday ones. Like you can really go far. If you happen to just have cards that you're going to be throwing away, save the fronts of them, because you can be using, like I've even used this one, have like a flower and things like that. Like even if it has nothing to do with what you're doing, you can take parts from it. Like even the border here could be really cute on something. So don't throw away your cards if you're into crafting, because you can totally do stuff with that. And that's what I did with all this. And you wouldn't have even known if I told you, until I told you guys. But yeah, scrapbooking paper can go pretty far. And now you guys know about the cards. So you can use a lot of cards and things like that. Or magazines even. Cannot go wrong with magazines. So this is about how far I've gotten already. I have plenty more to do. But I wanted to show that you can take a very simple notebook and turn it into a fun little scrapbook. I'm curious to find out what you guys are going to be doing. If you're going to be making your own gratitude journal, let me know what you guys are thinking about. And maybe you guys have some other ideas on tips with scrapbooking, or ways to, you know, save on scrapbooking, because scrapbooking can get costly. What are some tips that you guys have? Drop them in the comments below. Let me know if you guys have any tutorials you want me to cover. Drop them in the comments as well. Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time. Bye.